Tennessee This Week from WATE 6 on your side starts now.
Hello and welcome to Tennessee This Week. I'm Blake Stevens. COVID-19 cases rising around East Tennessee. Knox County seeing a spike and posting record numbers of positive tests. Wednesday night, the County Health Board of Health voting to require most people to wear masks when visiting indoor public spaces. Reporter Elizabeth Kubel followed the debate for us.
Knox County's Board of Health approving a new mask mandate dubbed the COVID-19 face covering regulation.
What this looks like is you will take a mask with you. You get out of the car, you're walking into your favorite restaurant, grocery store, whatever, and you're going to put a mask on when you go inside.
If you're inside a place that's not your home and not just with your family, you need to be wearing a mask. Don't need to be wearing it outside. You certainly can choose to wear one outside if that makes you feel more comfortable.
The proposal brought to the table Wednesday night by board member Dr. Patrick O'Brien.
What I'm going to propose is a public health order for us to consider.
And approval coming from the board after hang-ups from the county's deputy law director calling the proposal unconstitutional.
It's too vague. It's unconstitutional.
You know, we've been encouraging our community to wear a mask lots of different ways, and they just felt like we needed to take it a step further and a little stronger encouragement by making a public health order.
A final vote of 7 yes, 1 no. Mayor Glenn Jacobs was the dissenting vote.
I understand where the health board is coming from. Certainly, I think we all do. Just wish that we wouldn't have to do something like this, which became mandatory.
The regulation states violators could face jail time of no more than 30 days and up to a $50 fine. But health officials making it clear that is not their intent.
We do not wish to charge anybody with anything. So if somebody doesn't have a mask, we want to give them a mask.
We hope what we see is that those numbers start to level off and come down.
And that was Elizabeth Kubel reporting. Well, after that vote, Sheriff Tom Spangler publicly questioning whether the order was constitutional. Our state capitol reporter asking him about that at a news conference Thursday in Nashville.
There was some serious concern about the constitutionality of it, and they still haven't gotten the order down to us yet. So the order is now within the law department, and the law department is having some concerns with it. So there's an issue with it right now. So that's part of why we have questions with it.
Of course, we're taping this Friday afternoon. At last check, Law Director Bud Armstrong said he was still set to review the final language and the video from the vote, but he was glad to learn of the changes that exempted schools and places of worship. Armstrong believes those steps would have gone too far, violating the governor's executive order. And as of now, he's not convinced that order was constitutional, concerned with vague language that he said would make the order difficult to enforce. Also Thursday, Mayor Glenn Jacobs posting to his weekly YouTube update, sharing his thinking behind the vote against the order.
While I realize the importance of mitigating the damage that this pandemic is causing in our community, I worry that one-size-fits-all mandates such as this set a terrible precedent for government overreach. They're difficult to enforce, and they can cause conflict between the authorities and the public when enforced. As written, this order places enforcement responsibilities on private businesses. Finally, there are potential privacy concerns, as folks who cannot comply due to a medical condition could be compelled to disclose personal medical information, which is a violation of federal law. I also worry that folks who cannot wear a mask due to a medical condition will be stigmatized. Nevertheless, COVID-19 is still with us, so please continue to exercise personal responsibility in adhering to the recommended public health guidelines.
Also pushing back on this mandate, Representative Jason Zachary, a Republican representing District 14 in Knox County. For Zachary, the mandate isn't constitutional and it represents a violation of individual liberties. He says that's because the Board of Health is not elected, and he considers the mandate to be an overstep of their power. He tweeted about that just minutes after that vote Wednesday night. Thursday, he told our 6 on Your Side reporter Madison Keevy that it's not about the masks. Also,
the biggest issue is not about masks. This is really not a conversation about masks. That's a debate for another time. The issue is we have an unelected board that has gone against the advice of our elected law director, our elected sheriff, and our elected county mayor, and they are going to be forcing people to wear something. You can replace masks with headband, Crocs, whatever you want to replace that with. They're forcing us to wear something, Then they're taking it a step further, saying you will be cited, it will be a misdemeanor, and you could go to jail if you don't abide by this unelected board's rule. They don't have the authority to do that. The law director told them it was unconstitutional. So people are focused, forget the mask. This is a huge issue in terms of our individual liberty, in terms of our constitutional form of government. Unelected bureaucratic bodies that are not accountable to the people cannot make these decisions. That is why it's so important, the legislation I've proposed, that we get that passed, where the county mayor, who is accountable to us, whether you agree with his decisions or not, you agree with him, you vote for him. You don't agree with him, you vote him out of office. TCA, which is Tennessee Code Annotated, state law, TCA 68 gives this board the authority for set rules and regulations during a pandemic, during a health crisis. There's some parameters around it. Well, this is not a left-right issue, because I could take any issue. We could talk about guns, we could talk about abortion. If I told you 6 months ago that the health board in Knox County would tell everyone they have to wear a mask or go to jail, you would think I was nuts. Well, now it's not too far of a stretch that they determine that the health crisis has taken a different turn. What if they rule for or against guns? What if they rule for or against abortion? This is not a left-right issue. This is a fundamental foundation issue with who we are as a republic. And this is the crap they pull in Washington, D.C., where unelected bureaucrats make decisions that impact our lives. We don't do that here in Tennessee. But all of a sudden, it was done in Knox County. I've had so many people say, well, we don't have to worry about that in Knox County. Well, here it is. We have a problem, and the silent majority cannot let the vocal minority dictate the direction of this. Again, this is not a left-right issue, because, again, I could insert mask for any issue you want that you could play both left and right. This is a fundamental, foundational issue of government. Have a bill that can fix this. So I've already talked to the governor. I talked to him late last night. I talked to him about this. I'm hoping that during our special session that we will actually make this part of the special session, because this is a huge, huge issue. Again, left-right, it is not a left-right issue. It is a fundamental, foundational, governmental issue of how our government works. An unelected board is telling you what you have to do, and that there's going to be a penalty when all our elected officials, law enforcement, law director, county mayor, are saying they're not supportive of it and it is unconstitutional. And we have no recourse over an unelected board. That's not how our republic and our democratic way of government works here in the United States.
We did see some support. State Representative Gloria Johnson, the Democrat from the 13th District, tweeting Wednesday night, quote, "So glad Knox County followed the lead of the city of Knoxville on smart policies to keep us safer." Knoxville Mayor India Kincannon tweeting, quote, "This is good news for public health. Thank you, Knox County Health Board." Law professor Akram Pfizer says the power is given to the County Health Board through one of the governor's executive orders. He says it allows larger counties in the state to customize their own COVID-19 responses as long as they do not fundamentally differ from the state plan. He thinks mandating masks fit that criteria. Republican Representative Andrew Farmer agrees. I asked his opinion because not only is he a lawmaker, he also practices law. He says state law allows certain counties to make their own decisions surrounding public health. And while he says he is fundamentally against bigger government, he supports this decision.
All Knox County has asked people to do is take some extra precautionary measures here. And I don't have a problem with that at this point in time. Now, if people start getting arrested and fined and been told to stay in their homes, now you've gone too far. But asking someone to wear a mask, I don't think it's gone too far. And I think it's within the constitutionality of the health department's authority.
And with COVID-19 still spreading, Knox County Schools last week announcing it is putting together a virtual option for families who are not comfortable sending their kids to in-person classes in the fall. KCS is now trying to gauge how many families would be interested in a virtual option, asking families to take part in a survey by July 7th. Superintendent Bob Thomas saying he will share the school system's reopening plan with the board July 15th. Meanwhile, Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander, who is also the Senate Health Committee chair, weighing in on schools reopening, calling that an important step.
There is some health risk, but in my view, the greater risk is not going back to school.
Also saying wearing a mask should not be a political statement and people should continue wearing them when necessary. Well, still to come, budget worries due to COVID-19. You're watching Tennessee This Week from WATE 6 on your side.
If you have have Medicare and Medicaid, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee is here to offer you even more benefits with a Blue Care Plus plan at no extra cost.
My Blue Care Plus plan means I have someone right here in Tennessee on the other end of the phone when I call.
It means I have people like Allie who listen and really care.
It means I get more medical, dental, and vision benefits. Like $5,000 for dental care.
And $1,200 for hundreds of over-the-counter items.
Plus 100 rides for doctors and pharmacy visits. That's a lot of rides.
As a not-for-profit with a mission to serve, we're right here for you and with you.
I love having Tori in my corner. Everybody needs a Tori.
You can enroll in a Blue Care Plus plan at any time.
Get these great benefits and more. Call 833-807-1234. That's 833-807-1234.
What's next? Answers to questions. Jobs, school, lifestyle. So many changes and so many challenges ahead. WATE 6 on your side is here as we continue to reopen and reconnect with each other, reporting on the issues and the impact in East Tennessee. We're working on the answers to what's next. We're with you every step of the way. We are WATE 6 on your side.
Hey, welcome back to Tennessee This Week. The Knox County Circuit Court Clerk, Charlie Susano, is asking for $1.5 million in a loan to help make up for the money that's not coming in due to the pandemic. That money would come from the county's rainy day fund. County Mayor's Office saying if approved between this request and the Knox County Sheriff's Office bonuses, the County Commission will have in just under 4 weeks committed to spending $3 million of the reserve. Mayor Glenn Jacobs saying in a release that we're in uncharted territory and shortfalls will be hard to predict for months, maybe the rest of the year. Jacobs saying, quote, the situation, an unexpected expense due to the pandemic is exactly what we cautioned against during last week's budget hearings. Jacobs going on to write, quote, his overall concern is that this may be the first of many disruptions to Knox County's financial standing. Now, Circuit Court and Small Claims Court operate on fees, not tax dollars. Susano says his office is, quote, okay right now. He's planning only to use the money as needed to offset future shortfalls and says the loan would be repaid as new court case levels return to pre-pandemic levels. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee expects the State Capitol Commission to vote in the week ahead on the future of the bust of Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest. Now, we've shown you the protests calling for the bust to be removed. Governor Lee saying during a news conference he'll make a specific proposal next week for what the group will vote on. Lee isn't revealing those specifics right now, but he did praise the process.
The commission process that is set up by the legislature protects the integrity of historical displays, so that any changes are rooted in thoughtful civic discourse. This process is the opposite of the mob rule that unfortunately has been dominating the national headlines around historical displays. I have confidence that our process here in Tennessee with the Capitol Commission will be fair and representative of Tennesseans.
Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally saying he has for years believed the bust needs additional context and going on to say, quote, the left-wing activists who are pushing an anti-American, anti-history agenda here in Tennessee and across the nation will not stop with Nathan Bedford Forrest. They mean ultimately to uproot and discard not just Southern symbols, but American heroes and history as well. Well, TVA announcing 2 new members appointed to its board of directors. The Senate Committee on Environment and Public Works nominating Beth Harwell and Brian Nolan to the board. Harwell is most notably the former Speaker of the House in Tennessee. Nolan is the former president of East Tennessee State University. Now, Senator Lamar Alexander saying, quote, I'm especially delighted that these 2 individuals, Beth Harwell and Brian Nolan, have been nominated to serve. They're 2 of our state's most distinguished citizens, and they will make outstanding TVA board members. Well, still to come, our panel of pundits. Stay with us, everyone. You're watching Good Morning. No, you're watching Tennessee This Week from WATE 6 on your side.
Do you work out of your van or truck and need the biggest choice of racks, shelving, or sliding cargo trays? Let Phoenix Conversions help you, as they have expanded their commercial division and now have a 10,000 square foot showroom full of products for you to select from. If you're a contractor or fleet owner with 1 truck or 100 trucks, Phoenix can set you up to maximize efficiency with everything organized and safely stowed away. Come see for yourself today at 5915 Casey Drive. Need directions? Check us out at PhoenixConversions.com.
Phoenix Conversions, when it has to be the best.
We want to welcome you back to Farragut and say thank you to Farragut businesses for being open when we needed them. And thank you to those businesses that had shut their doors to keep us safe. Now we want everyone to know our businesses are reopening and are ready to welcome you back. Doors are opening in Farragut. For business information, go to visitfarragut.org.
I'm Corey B. Trotz with the law firm of Nahan, Saharovich & Trotz. If you've been injured in a car or truck wreck, we won't let the big insurance companies push you around. It's time to lawyer up so that we can help you money up.
Call 1-800-LAW-4-4.
If it involves the Big Orange, we discuss it on East Tennessee's #1 rated sports show. Since 2003, intelligent sports talk with former Vols and media insiders.
Watch Sunday mornings at 11, sponsored by Junk Be Gone and Phoenix Conversions.
All right, we've got our political contributor, Courtney Piper, our political analyst, George Corda, and our healthcare expert, Craig Griffith. All right, a lot of news this week. I want to start with you, Craig. The decision by the Knox County Board of Health, was it the right one?
Cities and states across the country are making masks mandatory now. So with the resurgence in various states of the virus, one thing is that you need to take as many steps as you can to prevent its spread. But, you know, I'm really disappointed in the sense that I thought when we had an enemy like COVID-19 at our doors, that our country would unite in trying to stop the spread of this disease. But what it has shown is that we're still in our silos. We're still looking at everything through our prisms of the different parties and the different points of view. And that hasn't changed, which is disappointing to me. Now, in terms of mandates, you know, the University of Tennessee a couple of years ago made their own mandate. They told people, you can't take your Gucci bags into Neyland Stadium. You have to have a clear 5x8 plastic bag at your side. And lo and behold, 60,000 people did that without saying anything because they thought it was in their best interest. And I think that wearing a mask is in everyone's best interest. I wonder if maybe we should have had UT make this decision.
So you saying it's not a political issue?
No, it is very much a political issue. Everything related to coronavirus now is coming down to be a political decision.
Maybe you're saying it shouldn't be a political issue. All right, Courtney, I want to get your thoughts. Was that the right decision by the health board?
Absolutely the right decision. And it's the right decision because consistently we've had county leadership, our county mayor specifically, from the very beginning saying that he thought we should live with this virus. But there's been very little consideration given to that. He's the one that sort of preaches personal responsibility. We all need to take personal responsibility, but he's not setting a good example for the rest of the community. He is not wearing a mask in public. So we're having these very conflicting messages from our county mayor in particular. Take personal responsibility. I encourage you to follow public health guidelines, but I'm not going to follow them. And so this was the right move to make to really start to show people, you know, hey, we're really trying to prevent the spread of this virus, protect our most vulnerable populations, and that begins with wearing masks when you're in public places indoors.
George?
Well, there are two issues, really. There's a constitutionality issue. Well, there's a health issue, obviously, but there's a constitutionality issue and a consistency issue. The deputy law director at the meeting where the health board made this decision told them there are constitutional problems with the decision you made. The health board on its website says it is an advisory group that works under the supervision of the county mayor. And in this case, the health board has issued a mandate commanding people in Knox County to take a certain action. And today I had a chat with Bud Armstrong, law director, who directed me to Executive Order number 38 from Governor Bill Lee, which does not mandate the use of masks, nor does it extend to health boards the authority to mandate masks. It encourages masks. Now, do I think people ought to wear masks? There's a lot of confusion out there based on things we were told early on, based on things we're being told now. Typically, I think it's probably a good idea. But the issue of constitutionality can't be ignored. Secondly, the consistency factor. A couple of weeks ago, there were thousands of people massing in Knoxville for protests or Juneteenth events. There wasn't a lot of complaint about lack of social distancing or failure of some of them to wear masks. In fact, Mayor Kincannon, the city mayor, commended the protesters for protesting and didn't say a word about, by the way, if you're going to be out doing this, you should be social distancing and masking. And that directly goes against the governor's executive order, because on May 20th, executive order number 38 said, no events of more than 50 people can be held in Tennessee. So people are looking at what was not said 2 weeks ago and what is being ordered now. And a lot of people are saying, this is not consistent, and I don't know that it's even constitutional. And that's creating a real issue.
Well, George, I just want to, oh, go ahead, Courtney, sorry.
It's absolutely consistent. Mayor Kincannon has been consistent in her messaging about mask wearing and social distancing since the beginning of March. Who has not been consistent, listen, let me finish, who has not been consistent with his messaging or his actions has been Mayor Jacobs, and that's incredibly disappointing.
No, he has been consistent. You just don't like his message.
No, he's urging his constituents to take personal responsibility and follow the guidelines established by the Knox County Health Department, and he is not following those guidelines.
Well, I know what Mayor Kincannon's office said, because I asked them, when did she say specifically to protesters or gatherers, you should be wearing masks? And the office gave me the same line you just did. Oh, she tells people to do it all the time, but she didn't do it directly to them. And I think she should have, to be consistent.
What is the constitutional question? I mean, we have mandates to wear seatbelts. Seatbelts aren't mentioned in the Constitution.
Whether the health board has the authority to order people, this advisory group can go beyond the governor's executive order and institute a mandate beyond what the governor's order calls for.
George,
that's what I'm told by the...
So it'll be adjudicated in the courts, and we'll find out in 6 months whether that's...
And who's going to enforce this thing? Who's going to enforce this thing? We're going to send sheriff's deputies out?
Let's go back to the reason why this is needed. There has been a fundamental rejection of science and data in our response to COVID-19 from the...
You mean like when those protests were going on?
From the very top levels down, and we've had inconsistent leadership at a local level.
Oh.
So absent leadership, a entity like the Knox County Board of Health is going to step in and say, look, somebody's got to help protect the public health and maintain some consistency here.
Interesting. This is just now coming up. You know how long does it take COVID to take root? About 2 weeks. If you look back at the protests and the Juneteenth event, those are about 2 weeks ago, and nobody was saying anything about you folks ought to be masking and social distancing. So you're picking and choosing.
Well, again, I've been on this, and there were many officials across the country that pointed out no mask, no social distancing. So
I'm talking about Knoxville.
You can lead a horse to water,
we live in Knoxville.
You can't necessarily make it drink.
Hey,
we live in Knoxville.
This sounds like many dining room tables across the country. I want to move on to the next question. Schools in the fall. We see now parents are starting to see some options. Is it realistic to expect schools to open in-person classes back to normal come this fall? Courtney?
We've got a new normal. So, I think it's realistic to expect that our schools will be open under a new normal, but I fail to see how releasing guidelines on June 15th, when schools typically start in August, is going to give parents enough time to prepare. Whatever open public schools look like, we know it's going to be dramatically different. And releasing guidelines on June 15th just simply does not give parents enough time to prepare. This is something that our school district should have been thinking about in March and in April.
Courtney, because you're the mom out of the four of us, and I know you have friends that are moms as well. What are the number one concerns going into the fall?
The number one concern is this idea of having some sort of rotating schedule because we have a lot of kids packed into our school buildings. So, these grades or these classes are going to come into school for in-person learning Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and these kids are going to come in Tuesday, Thursday and have some sort of rotating schedule. How in the heck do you manage childcare for that if your kids are in elementary school? It's almost impossible.
George, school in the fall, in-person classes, is it realistic?
I think has a very good chance of winding up like cruise ship situation, which is they keep telling you every month that it's going to start a month later than what they told you the month before. There's too much riding here. Nobody wants to get blamed. Nobody wants anybody to get sick, and nobody wants to get blamed if a bunch of kids get sick. So this is like juggling hand grenades with the pins out for people who are in the school system. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at Sweden, for example, which never shut down its school system. It didn't do that. And what were the results? And does it merit not having in-class school? But I think generally there's going to be a fear of doing anything that might lead to
Sweden's plan resulted in the highest per capita death rate in Europe. So I don't know that you could look to that for guidance. I think the
World Health Organization says Sweden is guidance for the rest of the world.
In August, come the middle of September, 1st of October, are you going to have to close them down because of the spread of COVID again? The quote second wave that may come in the fall, along with the seasonal flu breakout that we have every year. So I think it's a very difficult question, and I think that they probably have been working on this, Courtney, since the entire summer. They were working on how to finish up the school year last May and April. Now they're trying to figure out how to do it, and there are very little good options because it's hard to social distance in third grade.
Absolutely. Craig, I'm going to leave it there. Our healthcare analyst, George Korda, Courtney Piper, thank you so much. And thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week at 12:30.
Hey, not so fast. Before we go, a late edition here, and it has to do with masks. Friday evening, after most of us had already gone home, Governor Bill Lee issued a new executive order granting the mayors in 89 counties the authority to issue local mask requirements in the event of a significant rise in COVID-19 cases. And according to the order, the 6 counties with locally run health departments, including Knox County, quote, retain the existing authority to issue mask requirements as needed. Governor Lee writing, quote, while our densely populated urban areas continue to have the highest COVID-19 case rates, our local governments expressed a need for greater flexibility in addressing a rise in cases, and that includes setting stronger expectations around masks. This targeted approach ensures we protect both lives and livelihoods and safely keep our economy open in Tennessee. Thanks, and we hope to see you again here next Sunday at 12:30.
The views of guests on Tennessee This Week are their own and do not represent